Folks, welcome back to the Get Wired podcast. Really do appreciate you being here. If you are new here and have no idea what these episodes are, essentially the Get Wired podcast is a little podcast that I started while I was sorting e-waste and wire and cutting wire. And I figured, why not just have a conversation around business, have a conversation around, reselling, have a conversation around, all those different random relevant things while I do that as a bit of a passive way to do two birds, one stone. Today, we're actually going to be doing a whole bunch of clothing. I've got this that's come through just last week, and I figured, hey, I got to get that done, got to get it out of the way. So I'm going to start to process this. We can have a conversation. Have no idea what we're talking about today. Haven't really come super prepared. We're just doing this off the cuff. So it is going to be a little bit spontaneous, but we will do it anyway. So we're going to just jump straight into it, folks. I mean, I got all this clothing from, it's a consignment deal. It's through another customer, not my usual one that drops off clothing. And they asked if I'm willing to buy some more stock or sell some more clothes or whatever. I said, happy to dabble. Always happy to dabble with more stock. So I got to sort it and go through it. This is a nice old pair of Morrisons, and they're moleskin actually, not too bad. So yeah, just going to go through, sort this, but how's everyone doing? What's the state of everything in terms of your business? Now, we sell clothing, we sell e-waste, we sell collectibles, and I'm still finding that, not to blame eBay, but there's still not that consistency of things being found. Like, I've got Pokemon Stadium sitting in my store, and it's had a 20% off coupon on it, which is below the price of other people's. Still hasn't sold. Complete in box, great condition, no issues. I don't know why it hasn't sold. To me, usually that would be flying off the rack. Now, there's quite a lot out there and everyone's probably after a bargain, but I don't know. To me, that surprises me that it hasn't actually moved yet. And that comes onto a bigger conversation around everyone has been experiencing a few different, vibes around, sales are up, sales are down, it's been inconsistent, traffic isn't there. Speaking to a lot of other clothing resellers, and we've all experienced a lot of the same, that, the traffic has not been there, which is obviously a bit of a concern, like a big concern. And we don't really have anything we can do other than just keep trying. I'm not going to be forced to put up the promotion just for the sake of putting up the promotion cost, because I don't think that's going to solve the problem. So it's a bit of a challenge. Definitely something which is keeping me thinking about how do we try and manage that? How do we mitigate that risk and keep the cash flow coming in as well? Like, I've got bills to pay, expenses to pay. It is a little bit stressful. But hey, what do? You try and make it happen, don't you? So I'd love to know everyone else's opinion. Right now, so it's the 5th of November, me filming this, and I go away almost in a month's time. We're going to the Philippines, going to, get married and have a holiday and all that jazz. But I'm also excited because that's a time when I do go away, to plan on the next thing that we're working on, how to take the business to the next level. We've grown the business top line every quarter, on average 19% top line. So that's revenue. And to be able to continue to build and feed the beast has been a huge challenge. And I want to keep that momentum. But it's going to mean that we can't just keep doing what we've always done, because if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always gotten. And so there is this challenge of how do we level that up? How do we take it to that next level? And I've been brainstorming, actually yesterday, we had the day off, it was Cup Day, of what that could possibly look like and how we could possibly make that happen. But at the same time, it's, it comes with more, risk, more effort, more changes, and there's just a lot to manage. It's a lot to be sensible. Sorry. It's a lot to, making sure that we're being sensible about it, because those things can, really break or make the bank. And, I've had a lot of people talk to me over the years saying that my business is going to die soon. Look, and hey, every business is not perfect. And every business runs the risk that, something could come along, and think about COVID, right? Or the pandemic. That really absolutely screwed a lot of people over. So, I don't know what I don't know, but what I do know is like, I'm not planning to slow down. So I will keep working towards how do I make that happen. But, there's still always new challenges. There's always more opportunity too. There's always more things that, come our way, new things that we can do. And I'm grateful for that. And it's like, how do you just put it all together and make something beautiful out of it? So, that's cute. Little Disney cars. So at the moment, I'm just sorting some clothing. Basically, I'm just going through and seeing what we've got here in terms of, is it worth it? Is it not? It looks like a lot of this should be okay, but same thing is like trying to not have to spend too much money at the moment because we're not selling as much. But it is it's a catch-22 because, actually I don't need stock. I don't need stock at all, but hey, you got to take the opportunities when they come. Yeah, so planning for the new year, and maybe that's what we'll talk about is like, I really encourage people to, especially this time of year, is, as you start to get to the end of the year, you can reflect on how the year's been and what's been, whether this is business, personal, whatever. Start to think about like all the positive stuff that's occurred. And what were the wins? What were the things that you took away that you were super happy with and proud of? And think about what were the things that were working, what were the things that weren't working, and what were the things that you could have done better. And then how do you basically, 1, do more of what worked, 2, get rid of the stuff that doesn't work, and 3, double down on those opportunities. I mean, it's a rose thorn bud approach, and I like to do that because, I've seen what's been working, and there's been a lot of things, that have been a challenge this year, and that's been obviously expenses and cash flow, but we've done more than we've ever done it as well. So like, we are continuously growing, but you have to weigh up what is the realities of that, of the ups and downs, and how do you mitigate those ups and downs for next year? Because next year will have its own set of challenges. Next year will have maybe better opportunities, but it's the same thing in terms of you got to always be thinking ahead if you want to grow your business. If you're doing this part-time, I don't think you need to be so intense on trying to build this out, right? Just let it tick along, find a good deal, flip it, live that dream, right? But if you're trying to do this at a large scale and you're trying to, grow it, and, maybe something like myself or some of the other big players, 2 Aussie thrifters, etc., you have to be continuously thinking, what's the next 90 days look like? How do we get the next 90 days to where we want it to be? You got to be looking at it from that perspective. That's my job as the owner, operator, director of this business. Obviously, I've got staff that can do a lot of stuff for me, but it's not always going to be that simple where it's like, oh, sweet, it's all sorted, I've got it all figured out, because I have to keep them honest. I have to keep us pushing towards the next thing, pushing towards the new opportunities, pushing towards how do we avoid getting ourselves in sticky situations. And, there's a lot of things happening. So, yeah, definitely something I would encourage you to do is go see what you can reflect on, and go see what you've been very proud of to achieve this year, and go see how you can double down on that. I don't know, maybe you can play back in the comments, you can share what's been really good for you, what hasn't worked for you, what are you excited for? For me, I'm excited to continuously grow the business. I mean, that's basically where I focus all my attention at the moment. Once I finish work, I go home, have some time off, but I tend to just go, and that's because I treat this like a game. Like it's like a video game to me. I enjoy doing this. It's not for everyone, which I totally respect, like the hustle and like go. But for me, it's like, I love the continuous improvement. I love the ability to push us to that next level. I love the challenge, not just to grow the business to get a result, but it makes me think differently. It makes me become a better version of myself, because I can't keep being me if I want to level up, right? You have to level up. That's the only way to grow. So seeking that discomfort really enables me to find new things about myself and break down some of the, maybe some of the mindsets that I've been stuck on or limited beliefs. And I think that is really important when you understand what is possible versus know what is possible versus, no, I can't do that because of this. You can start to really break down some of those things and that you realize that over your entire life, maybe it has been holding you back. And, it's very easy to put the blame on other people and platforms and tools. And when really we're only as capable as we say we are, and if you're not saying you're capable enough, then you won't be capable enough to achieve what you want to achieve. So you gotta make sure you put yourself out there. Be willing to give yourself a shot. Back yourself. And this one's got a stain on it. And see what you can do. All right, so if people are wanting to know what am I doing here, I'm literally just seeing if there's anything got marks on it, obvious marks. I'm doing a quick triage, stuff that, brands I know, stuff we would usually sell. And I'm just sorting them into different categories. We would probably then do a bit more of a detailed check and balances as we progress these into washing and as we progress these into listing as well. All of this will get washed. Unless it's new with tags, we probably won't prioritize it. I'm very, very bullish on making sure we get everything clean, everything's right, because that's my number one priority for the customer, is providing that great value, making sure they feel comfortable about it, that the items that they get that it does make them feel happy and content. So that way, if they're going to want to buy more clothes, they're coming back to us. There's nothing worse than buying something online, bad experience, therefore you'll go to a competitor, right? Nothing worse than that for myself anyway. So definitely something I've got to keep in the back of my mind of how do we always provide that top tier value against our competitors, because clothing is quite saturated. And I like to think that, yeah, sure, maybe it means it's sometimes not worth doing because so many people are doing it. But if you can do it well and do it better or provide a really great service, well, then it's definitely worth doing because people appreciate value and service. And they're not just buying clothes, they're buying the full offering that you offer. So that's why it's really important to, when you think about what you're going to be doing, are you meeting the eBay policies? Are you sending within the time that you say you're going to send? Are you, all these different things. And Jason Ramage has been doing a lot of videos on this as well, and making sure that you're doing the things you're meant to be doing that you're expected to do as a seller on eBay. Whether it's replying to customers, managing returns, managing refunds, answering questions, being willing to do best offers and do discounts, providing really great service in terms of how quickly you sending as quickly as you say you're going to send, putting good product up, being fair about shipping, all these different things. The list can go on and on and on. So definitely stuff you got to remember is especially this time of year, are you offering express postage? So your customers can, get the express postage before Christmas, and how much are you charging for that? Maybe you're on eBay and you're an eBay Plus member. Maybe not. I'm not an eBay Plus. I don't do eBay Plus. I can't afford to do the free shipping. So, different things. You got to work out what works for your brand. Maybe you can buy all your stock for $1. Maybe you can do free postage. Maybe you can offer it express at a cheaper rate. I don't know. You get to decide what that is. That's the beauty of building these things. But at this point in time, when it comes to competing against so many people in business, you do need to find what is your outlier, what is your separator. Why should anyone buy this dress off me compared to anyone else, right? I don't think this is anything special. It's just a skirt. This is Target, so I wouldn't sell this. But, I might offer it for $10, someone else might offer it for $5. What is the value proposition there? Some good stuff in here. A lot of this is just bread and butter, nothing crazy. Anyway, I'm just blabbering now. So, look, I'm probably just going to leave it there, folks, so I can just get straight to it. But just a quick little check-in. Love to hear your thoughts, what you're doing, what you're up to, any goals you're working towards in the business, any goals you have for the business next year. What's your current motivation? What inspires you to get up, get this happening. Are you doing it part-time? Are you doing it full-time? Where would you like it to be? Open dialogue. Let's have a conversation. I'd love to hear it. I get excited when I hear people tell their stories of why they do this and how they've done it, and some of the different things. And hey, I don't have this all figured out. I'm figuring it out as I do it. And if I can help someone else, I will. But hey, I've learned a lot of things from a lot of other people. And sometimes there's things that I don't agree with or I don't like, and I don't want that for my business, which again, it's not personal. That's just the way it is. But at the same time, there's sometimes some really valid stuff, and the sharing of ideas is when, we can build more opportunity for ourselves. So it's all right to share. Let me know if you want to have a conversation, reach out, drop a message, send me a message on Instagram. More than happy to help. Yeah, appreciate you all. And we'll be back here again next week doing it all again. Ciao.